Hi, fourth graders. Welcome to our math class today. Last week, we learned about how to add and subtract two like fractions. However, today we're going to learn how to add and subtract two alike fractions. So let's get started. So what does it mean by two unlike fractions? So like fractions are the two fractions that have the same denominator. However, unlike fraction is different because they have different denominator. Let's look at these two fractions. One is 3 over 8 and the other one is 2 over 4. So last week we had the same denominators. However, this week we're going to learn how to add and subtract fractions with different denominators. Then how do we do that? So let's begin. So first, I'm going to write down the fractions over here. So 3, oh, this is a little too thick. So let me use pen. So 3 over 8 plus 2 over 5. Step number 1. We're going to focus on the denominator. And we're going to find a denominator that they can have in common. In order to do that, I'm going to write down the multiples of 8 and 4. So let's write it down. So for 8, the multiples will be 8. So multiple is anything that times by 8. 12. Not 12, 16, because 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. I'm going to stop there. What about 4? What is the multiples for 4? 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. And I'm going to stop there. Then let's look at their multiples and find the one number that they have in common. That is 8. So it has 8 and 4 has 8 too. Then that's going to be our denominator. However, since our first fraction is already in 8, I'm going to keep it as it is. So step number 1, find the lowest common multiple. Okay. And step number 2 is we're going to rename the fraction. So since 3 over 8 is already in 8, I'm going to keep it. However, 2 over 4 is the fraction that needs to be changed. So let's rename it. I want to change my denominator into 8. And what do I need to do to make it 8? I need 2 times by 2, because 4 times 2 is 8. If I multiply my denominator by 2, that means I need to multiply my numerator by 2 as well, because we need to do the same for top and bottom. Then 2 times 2 is 4. Now I have renamed my second fraction. Then now we can do the addition. Just like what we did for last week, I'm going to put the two numbers with the same denominators here. And our last step is adding the two numbers. So 3 plus 4 is 7. And what is my denominator? 8. So that's going to be my answer. So 3 over 8 is 3 over 8. I don't need to do anything because it's already in 8. However, my second fraction, I need to times 2 by 2, which is 4. and also do the same for denominator, which will give me 8. And then now add these two numbers, and my final answer is 7 out of 8. Okay, so I want you to do number 2, 3, 4 on your own. Let's do mixed number. Let's do number 13. So I'm going to erase these. Can I erase these? No? Okay, that's fine. So let's do number 13. When we're renaming our fraction, we're going to keep the whole number as it is. So I'm going to write down the 2 number here. 2 and 1 over 3 plus 4 and 3 over 6. Our step number 1, we're going to focus on denominator and we're going to find the lowest common multiple. So let's write down the multiple for 3 and 6. What is 3 times 3? And 3 times 1? That's going to be 3. What is 3 times 2? 6. What is 3 times 3? 9 and 12. Let's do the same for 6. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. And 24. Then let's find what do they have in common. And here they have 2 numbers in common. First one is 6. And the second one is 12. Then which one should I choose? I'm going to choose number 6 because this is the lowest. So out of all, we need to choose the lowest number, and that's going to be 6. Since my second fraction is already in 6, I'm going to keep it as it is. I just need to change my first fraction. And how can I make 3 to 6? I just need to times by 2. And then when I did that for my bottom, I need to do that for my top too. So it's going to be 2 and 2 over 6. Since we have the same denominator, now we can go ahead and add these 2 numbers. Okay, so what do I need to do first? I need to add the whole number first. 2 times 4 is 6, and denominator stays the same, and 2 plus 3 is 5. That's going to be my answer for my number 13. Okay, all right, then how do I do number 22 and 23 and 24 and 25? So it says I need to mark all of the equivalent fractions. So we need to find the fraction that has the same value. So it's going to be 1 over 3 and 2 over 6. Because when I divide my top and bottom by 2, it will become 1 over 3. Then that means these 2 fractions have the same value. So we need to do the same for number 23 to 25. And let's do the subtraction. Subtraction is the same. So for number 4 through 11, you just need to rename it. So how did I make 2 to 6? What did I do to my 2 to turn it into 6? I multiply it by 3. And when I did that for my bottom number, we know that we need to do the same for my top number. And so my missing number will be 3. That's how we do for this section. And subtraction is the same. So let's do number 12 together. This is 3 over 4 minus 1 over 8. We know the lowest common multiple for 4 and 8, which is 8. So since my second fraction is already in 8, I'm going to keep this fraction as it is, and I'm only going to change my first fraction. And to make this 8, I need to multiply my 2 number by 2. So let's rename this fraction. The denominator is the same, which is 8. 3 times 2 is 6. And now we have the same denominator, so we can do the subtraction. So what is the answer? 5/8. Oopsie, let me write it again. 5/8. That's how we do these questions. And that's the answer for number 12. So I want you to do, for your homework, I want you to finish off these 2 worksheets on your own and upload them on Google Classroom whenever you're done. However, if you have any questions along the way, please find me. I will be available on Google Classroom and also our school website. So I hope you have fun, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.